hybrids. We simply can't get enough of them. Maybe because there's something indescribably attractive about two different animals having a baby. In a non-creepy way. Animal hybrids are very fascinating creatures, often even more interesting than their parents. Normally, hybrids are a product of two different animals, but believe it or not, I found the very first ever plant-animal hybrid. It's real, and I'm actually not kidding. Stick with me to the end of the video to learn more about that. With that said, here are 20 bizarre hybrid animals that actually exist. Number 20. The liger. Let's start this video off with the more obvious ones, but I promise we'll get to the more obscure ones as we go along. The liger is a hybrid between a male lion and a female tiger, and is the largest feline alive today, weighing up to 925 pounds. They have delicate striped patterns on tan-colored fur that gradually fade away in different patches. Ligers are not known to exist in the wild, which is pretty much expected as lions and tigers' habitats don't overlap, only being seen in captivity where they've been selectively bred. The Tigon. A tigon has the exact same parents as a liger, but with the parents' genders flipped around, a male tiger and a female lion. The tigon's body is a light tan with stripes and a white underbelly, and a large maned and spotted head. Much like ligers, tigons only exist in captivity as part of breeding programs as they're usually sterile, although there have been a number of tigons that can mate. The Jaguar. Jag lions, also called jaguans, are hybrid animals that resulted in the mating of a male jaguar and a lioness. They are extremely rare hybrid animals, but one of the few that can occur naturally in the wild. For the longest time, the only known specimen was that of a mounted one that is currently on display at the Walter Rothschild Zoological Museum in Hertfordshire, England. It's an amazing specimen, having the overall color of a lion, but also possessing a leopard's distinct rosettes or spots. However, all that changed when on April 9, 2006, two jaglions were born at Bear Creek Wildlife Sanctuary in Ontario, Canada. Jazara and Tsunami were the result of an unintended mating between a black jaguar called Diablo and a lioness called Lola. These two had been hand-raised together and were inseparable. Tsunami is spotted, but Jazara is a melanistic jaglion due to inheriting the jaguar's dominant melanism gene. It wasn't previously known how the jaguar's dominant melanism gene would interact with lion coloration genes, so this was pretty cool to see. The Leopon. The Leopon is a very rare hybrid of a male leopard and a lioness that's only ever been produced in captivity. The Leopon has stunning looks, much like a mythical beast, with the head of a lion and the body of a leopard. The very first Leopon was created in India in 1910, and over a century later there are believed to be only around 100 in the world today. The Savannah Cat. Savannah cats are the offspring of a domestic cat and a serval, a medium-sized African wildcat. These stunning hybrid cats tend to be more social than domestic cats and are often described as dog-like. The Savannah cats enjoy playing fetch, have no fear of water, and are happy walking on leashes. They also have their serval heritage intact, with the ability to jump 3 meters high straight off the ground. The Toyger. Toygers are a designer cat breed, bred from Bengal and tabby cats to create a wild tiger-like look on a completely domesticated cat. The animal was initially bred by Judy Sudgen in 1980 to help prevent the extinction of wild cats by enticing big cat lovers to this smaller look-alike hybrid cat. They have dark markings on a bright orange background on top and a white underside and a larger and longer body than typical domestic cats to better sport their tiger-style vertical striping. The Cheeto. The Cheeto was first bred as recently as 2001 by a breeder hoping to create a new feline displaying the physical characteristics of a wild cat with the gentleness of a domestic cat. They succeeded, and the Cheeto has a stunning soft coat that makes it look like a miniature leopard or a cheetah, with small rosettes or spots in a range of brown, gold, and cinnamon colors. Cheetos are one of the largest breeds of all domestic cats, but are still very rare hybrids. The Growler Bear. Also known as the Polar Grizz, Palizzle, Grizzly Bear, Grizzlar, or Nunumluckum, these impressive hybrid apex predators are a combination of grizzly bear and polar bear. And somewhat unusual is that they're actually seen more frequently in the wild than in zoos. The first confirmed sighting of a growler was in 2006, confirmed by DNA testing of a strange-looking bear shot on Banks Island in the Canadian Arctic. It's likely that climate change is increasing the interaction of brown bears and polar bears in the wild, causing them to increasingly share overlapping territories. The Coy Wolf. Coyotes and wolves only diverged around 200,000 years ago, and the two species are still able to mate and produce viable offspring known as a coy wolf. Coy wolves share many of the characteristics of their two parents and are somewhere in between a coyote and a wolf in size when fully grown. It isn't known whether coy wolves are animals that mate for life, like both their parent species do. The wolfen. A wolfen is a rare hybrid born from a female bottlenose dolphin and a male false killer whale breeding. The size, color, and shape of a wolfen is a blend of the parent species, giving them a truly unique look. One interesting wolfen fact, they have 66 teeth, exactly halfway between the bottlenose dolphin's 88 teeth and the false killer whale's 44. Wolfens are known to exist in the wild and are referred to by fishermen as the Great Gray Beast. Your best chance of seeing one, however, is to head to the Sea Life Park in Hawaii, where they currently have 2 wolfens in captivity. The Narluga. Narwhals and beluga whales are similar in size and the only 2 species in the Monodontidae family, so perhaps it's not too surprising that they're able to breed successfully in the wild. Though Narlugas are extremely rare, there have been a number of recent sightings in the North Atlantic, as well as reports of a school of beluga whales adopting a lost narwhal in Canadian waters. Narlugas are the largest and heaviest animals on this hybrid list. The Kama. First created in 1998 at the Camel Reproduction Center in Dubai in 1998, these hybrid creatures come from breeding a male dromedary camel from Asia and a female llama from South America. The goal of this breeding project was to create an animal with the size and strength of a camel and the wool production and milder temperament of a llama. Kamas have no camel hump and their size is somewhere between the camel and llama. The Beefalo. Beefalos are the fertile offspring of domestic cattle and American bison, also known as buffalo, and it's thought that the first crosses of these 2 species occurred around 250 years ago, followed by intentional crossbreeding from the 19th century onwards. The beefalo was created to combine the best attributes of both animals to improve beef production, but has sadly resulted in a serious setback to wild American bison conservation, with wild bison herds becoming polluted with cattle genes. The Dazhou. Originating in the high plateaus of Mongolia and Tibet, the Dazhou is a male hybrid animal of a yak and a domestic cow. Whilst males are usually sterile, the female hybrid, known as Dzomo or Zom, is fertile. These hybrids tend to be larger and stronger than both cows and yaks, and are prized for their productivity of meat and milk. The Zubron. Zubron were bred by Maine domestic cattle with a European bison, with the aim of creating a new form of domestic cattle that were larger, stronger, and more resistant to disease. Zubron are extremely large hybrids, with the males weighing up to 1,200 kilos and are tough animals, capable of tolerating harsh winters. The first Zubron was bred in 1847, but the project fizzled out for a range of reasons. This left just a small herd wandering freely in Poland's Białowieski National Park. The Geep. The sheep-goat hybrid is known as a geep, or sometimes a shote. Breeding between goat and sheep does sometimes occur in the wild, but their offspring are usually stillborn. There are only 2 known cases of live geeps, but these were sadly sterile due to the makeup of their chromosomes. The Hinny. A Hinny is a hybrid born of a male horse and a female donkey. They are the direct opposite of mules, which comes from male donkeys and female horses. However, the 2 animals are completely different, both in looks and temperament. Hinnies are distinctly smaller than mules, but despite this, they have much stronger legs, making them better pack animals. They also have a much thicker coat, making them better for colder climates. These advantages come at a price, though. Hinnies are notoriously difficult to handle, especially the males. They're both stubborn and aggressive, the least likable traits of their parents. In fact, male Hinnies are almost always castrated soon after birth, just to make handling them a bit easier. Now it's time for today's best pick. Today's pick was submitted by a subscriber, and it looks like a weird hybrid of a rhino and a zebra. Either that or someone spent the time painting a rhino with zebra stripes and somehow didn't get trampled. No matter how cool looking this animal is, unfortunately there's no such thing. But here's a zebra hybrid for all you zebra fans out there with number 2, zebroids. A zebroid is a genetic term for a hybrid of the zebra with any other equine. The zebra was first crossbred in 1815 and referenced in Darwin's The Origin of Species. Zebras were less susceptible to disease than horses, while domesticated horses are easier to train. Subsequent frequent breeding of zebras with equines has led to many different types of zebroid hybrids: sorces, zonkis, zonies, zedongs, and zemule, many of which are used as working animals. All of these ones do have varying degrees of unique zebra stripes as well. Before we move on, do me a favor. My analytics show that only about 15% of you watching are actually subscribed. Come on guys, what's up with that? Can you guys please hit the subscribe button? You guys watch my videos every day anyway, so you might as well subscribe and keep up to date with every video we put out. Number 1. The green sea slug. Possibly the most unusual hybrid animal on this list is the green sea slug. It's a sea slug that incorporates genetic material from the algae it eats into its own DNA. The strange result is a plant-animal hybrid that can consume food like an animal or create its own nutrients via photosynthesis. Scientists call these sea slugs emerald green Elysia. Their ability to turn solar energy into food is what gives them their brilliant green hue. Scientists acknowledge that they will have to do more research in order to determine how this phenomenon happens. But as of right now, this is the only successful instance of gene transfer from one type of complex organism to another. Which of these animal hybrids is your favorite? Let us know down below in the comments. Also make sure to check out the channel's other amazing content. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Later, everybody!